Hello and welcome to today's episode, which deals with the concept, nature, process and significance of management. This episode will also dwell on the functional areas of management as well as inform you about the classical and the neoclassical systems. I'm Amrita Ghosh Kumar and the subject expert for today's program is Dr. Tarannum Amir, teaching in Satyavati College, University of Delhi. So let us start by looking at a broad overview of the concept of management. In every type of human organization, management exists. Management is necessary to coordinate the various activities of human beings. Whenever two or more people work together to achieve common objectives, they have to coordinate their work as well as their activities. Management makes human efforts more productive. In the words of Kuhns, the term management has been defined as the art of getting things done through and with people in formally organized groups. This means that in order to get work done, a manager has to join human beings together in the form of groups and get things done with their cooperation. Peter Drucker defines management in another way. According to him, management is what it does. Because management is an organ and organs can be described and defined only through their function. The above definitions reveal the following features of management. 1. Management is a universal process. It is applied equally in different organizations, business, etc. The main purpose of management is to achieve common goals. Third, management is a social process because it is done by the people, for the people, and through the people. Fourth, it is a dynamic and continuous process. Fifth, it is a multidisciplinary subject in the sense that it requires knowledge from various disciplines like anthropology, sociology, psychology, economics, and so on. Sixth, management is described as an art as well as a science. Seventh, it is intangible. It cannot be seen, but it can be felt in the form of results. Management is defined as a process in the sense that it involves various interrelated functions of management. In the words of Henry Fayol, management is a process because it consists of 5 important functions. These functions of management, namely planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, are interrelated with each other, and every manager has to perform all these functions. He says to manage is to forecast and plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate, and to control. Another author, that is George R. Terry, also views management as a process. In his words, management is a distinct process consisting of planning, organizing, actuating, and controlling performance to determine and accomplish stated objectives with the use of human beings and other resources. This definition clearly states that there are 4 functions of management, but modern concepts of management identifies one more function, and that is staffing. Thus, the 5 important functions of management are classified as planning, organizing, staffing, actuating or directing, and controlling. In simple words, management is called a process because it is a continuous process which makes the manager busy all the time. Apart from this, all the functions of management are interrelated and interdependent on each other. For instance, when a manager finishes the last function of management, that is controlling, it does not mean his work comes to an end. He will have to again start planning and will try to rectify the errors or deviations which have been observed by him during the past controlling process. Not just that, a good manager will have to perform all the other functions of management simultaneously. Thus, it is said that management is a never-ending process. Now let us look at the functions of management. There are various functions of management which are necessary at all levels of organization. First, planning. Planning is the main function of management. In order to survive and grow, some degree of planning is necessary for every type of organization. It is nothing but deciding in advance the objectives of the organization. Second, organizing. Once the plans are formulated, the next step is to organize them properly. In simple words, organizing is the establishment of effective behavioral relationships among persons, so that they may work together efficiently and gain personal satisfaction in doing selected tasks under given environmental conditions for the purpose of achieving some goal or objective. This means that the organizing function of management brings together human and physical resources in an orderly manner and arranges them in a coordinated pattern in order to accomplish planned objectives. Third, staffing. Staffing is the process through which positions at different levels are filled in the organizations. It is one of the most important elements of the management process. It is mainly concerned with human resource planning, recruitment, selection and training, development, integration, compensation and so on of the employees of the organization. Fourth, directing. Directing is rather one of the most complex functions of management. It is mainly concerned with the guidance, supervision, motivation and leading of human resources effectively and efficiently towards the attainment of organizational goals. In short, directing is the managerial function of guiding and supervising the subordinates of the organization. It consists of various activities like issuing orders and instructions to the subordinates, supervising and motivating the employees, communicating plans and policies of the organization to the employees, as well as leading the people at work. Finally, controlling. Controlling is another basic managerial function which is required at all levels of the organization. It involves the continuous process of determining what is being performed, comparing actual performance with the predetermined objectives, identifying and analyzing deviations, finding causes of the deviations and adopting such corrective measures as may be necessary to make the performance conform to the operational plan. Management is absolutely essential for the survival, growth, prosperity and development of an organization. In order to achieve organizational goals effectively and efficiently, every organization needs proper management. The management is a life-giving element to an organization, as all mankind organizations require some force to function. The importance of management can be therefore outlined as A. Management integrates physical resources and human resources. B. Management helps in economic growth. C. Management is a dynamic and a continuous process. D. Management facilitates the accomplishment of organizational goals in an efficient and effective manner. E. It helps in human development through proper training and motivation. It helps employees to raise their efficiency and productivity. F. Management ensures stability of an organization. The role of a manager in an organization is very important. Henry Mintzberg has conducted a study on the manager's role. He observed and interviewed 5 chief executives from different industries for a 2-week period. On the basis of his study, he concluded that a manager plays 10 different but closely related roles. These roles can be described as 1. As a figurehead. In this role, the manager performs various symbolic duties like making speeches, welcoming official visitors, distributing gifts to retiring employees, and so on. Secondly, as a leader. In this role, the manager is responsible for the motivation and activation of his subordinates. He is also responsible for the staffing, the training, and other associated duties. Third, as a liaison officer. This role describes a manager's relationship with the outsiders. He maintains good relations and contacts with outsiders and informers who provide him with vital information. Fourth, as a monitor. This role involves a continuous examination of the environment. In order to gather information relating to opportunities, challenges, problems that may affect the organization, a manager has to monitor the environment continuously. Fifth, as a disseminator. Under this role, the manager transmits information which he may have received from outsiders or from subordinates to the members of the organization. Sixth, as a spokesman. Here, a manager speaks for his organization. Seventh, as an entrepreneur. In this role, the manager searches the organization and its environment for opportunities and initiates improvement projects to bring about change. He also supervises and designs certain projects as well. Eighth, as a disturbance handler. A manager takes corrective actions when the organization faces problems like a strike, lockouts, etc. It is the responsibility of the manager to handle conflicts or disturbances that may exist in the organization. Ninth, as a resource allocator. Under this role, a manager is responsible for the allocation of organizational resources. He approves budgets and schedules. And 10th, as a negotiator. A manager bargains with suppliers, dealers, trade unions and so on behalf of the organization. The scope of management is very wide. It is required in every functional area and at every level. Following are some of the important functional areas where management is required. 1. Production management. Production management is one of the important functional areas of management. Production implies the creation of goods and services to satisfy human wants. It involves the conversion of raw materials into finished products. The term production management may be defined as the process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating and controlling the production function. The production function denotes a relationship between inputs or resources and outputs or products. It ensures the maximum amount of output from a given quantity of inputs. Production management is therefore concerned with the performance of various managerial functions in relation to production activities. Second, marketing management. Marketing management is an important functional area of business management. It includes all the managerial functions in the field of marketing. In the words of Philip Kotler, marketing management has been defined as the analysis, planning, implementation and control of programs designed to create, build and maintain mutually beneficial exchanges and relationships with target markets for the purpose of achieving organizational objectives. In simple words, marketing management is concerned with satisfying customers' needs and preferences by providing them with qualitative goods and services. Third, financial management. Finance is the blood of every business organization. No business enterprise can survive without adequate funds. Thus, It is the duty of financial manager to manage the funds effectively and to ensure that the right amount of funds are available to the business organization at the right time and at a reasonable cost. Therefore, financial management is concerned with planning, organizing, directing and controlling financial activities of the business enterprise. Fourth, human resource management. Human resource management is another important functional area of management, which is concerned with the planning, organizing, directing and controlling of human resources. In the words of Flippo, human resource management may be defined as the planning, organizing, directing and controlling of the procurement, development, compensation, integration and maintenance and separation of human resources to the end that individual, organizational and societal objectives are accomplished. Management practice in business began with the birth of the Industrial Revolution in England during the mid-18th century. The Industrial Revolution had changed the entire picture of industrial activity with a greater utilization of machines, better transportation and communication facilities, the establishment of employer-employee relationships and the separation of consumers from production. Under these new conditions, the means of establishing and achieving objectives proved unsatisfactory and gave rise to new management ideas. A series of inventions were made by scientists like Charles Babbage, who began to search for methods for improving worker productivity with the use of work measurement and cost determination plans, as well as profit sharing and bonus plans. James Montgomery wrote the first management text sometime now. Robert Owens emphasized the human element of cooperation. Charles Dupin taught broader management skills in colleges and so on. Thus, by the end of the 19th century, much had been written, practiced and preached about management, but all the research were limited to the particular industry of the authors. The real study of management as a discipline, akin to, say, physics, history, mathematics and other fields of study, began with the advent of Frederick W. Taylor and his scientific management school of thought. Since then, various schools of management thought have evolved and still exist today. Following are some of the schools of management thought. The classical approach of management is the oldest school of thought and is also known as the functional approach. According to this approach, management is a systematic network of interrelated functions. This theory believes in a formal organization structure where the organization is treated as a machine and supposes that the efficiency of an organization can be achieved by making each individual working in the organization work more efficiently. Some of the classical theorists are F.W. Taylor, Henry Fayol, Weber, Luther Gulick, Owick, etc. This theory includes Frederick Taylor is regarded as the father of the scientific management. He tried to increase the productivity by increasing the efficiency and wages of the workers. Following are the basic principles of scientific management. 1. Develop a true science for each element of a worker's job to replace the old rule of thumb method. This principle suggests that the best method for performing each job must be analyzed and selected. 2. Job specialization or division of work. Taylor suggested equal division of work between the employees and the management. 3rd, scientific selection, training and development of workers. 4th, close cooperation between management and workers. 5th, maximum output in place of restricted output. Henry Fayol was the first person who contributed to the administrative management theory. He was a French industrialist who gave the 14 principles of management. These principles are as follows. 1. Division of work. According to this principle of management, the work of an organization should be divided among individuals and groups in such a way that efforts of individuals are focused on special portions of the task. This will lead to specialization. Specialization again in turn will increase the efficiency of an individual. Hence, output of an organization will also increase. Second, authority and responsibility. There is a close relationship between authority and responsibility. Authority means giving orders and the power to exact obedience. Responsibility means accountability. Therefore, responsibility is associated with authority. Responsibility arises wherever authority is exercised. Third, discipline. According to this principle of management, every employee of an organization must obey and respect the rules and regulations designed to secure obedience. Good discipline is required for the successful growth of any organization, for effective leadership and a clear understanding between management and employees, and so on. Fourth, unity of command. Every worker should receive orders only from one manager or superior. Fifth, unity of direction. Each group of organizational activities that have the same objective should be directed by one manager using one plan. Sixth, subordination of an individual to general interests. The interests of individuals should be reconciled with common interests. When there is conflict between the two, the interests of the organization should prevail over the individual interests. 7. Remuneration. Employees working in an organization must be paid a fair wage for their services. Organization, while determining a worker's rate of pay, must consider various factors like the cost of living, general business conditions, and so on. 8. Centralization. Centralization refers to the fact that all decision-making powers are in the hands of top management. This means that there is no role for subordinates in decision-making, whereas decentralization increases the roles of subordinates in decision-making. According to Fayol, whether decision-making is centralized or decentralized depends on the specific organization in which the manager is working. The thing is to find the optimum degree of centralization for each situation. 9. The scalar chain. The line of authority from top management to the lower level management represents the scalar chain. This means that communications should flow from the top level management to the lower levels of management. The existence of a scalar chain and adherence to it are necessary if the organization is to be successful. 10th, order. In order to achieve efficiency and coordination, people and materials should be in the right place and at the right time. 11. Equity. All employees should be treated as equally as possible. 12th, stability of tenure of personnel. Job security must be given to the employees. Organization must take steps to retain the employees in the organization. 13th, initiative. Management should encourage the employees to take initiative in the formulation and execution of plans. 14th, esprit de corps. Management should encourage team spirit, harmony, and good relations among the employees. Let us look now at the features of bureaucracy as exhorted by Weber. 1. Division of work. In bureaucratic organizations, the total task is divided among different workers and each worker is specialized in his task. 2. Rules and regulations. In order to ensure discipline and control in an organization, strict rules and regulations are followed. 3. hierarchy of authority. Clear-cut hierarchy is designed and each supervisor exercises supervision and control on his subordinates. Fourth, technical competence. There is a high degree of technical competence in bureaucratic organization. Fifth, record keeping. Records in the form of written documents are properly maintained and preserved. Sixth, impersonal relations. There is no place for informal relations among the members of the bureaucratic organization. 1. Classical theorists viewed organization as a machine. They assumed that employees of an organization can be motivated only through financial incentives. But practically, human beings are unique and seek satisfaction from a variety of socio-psychological needs through their organizational membership. Second, they felt that organizational efficiency can only be increased through productivity and ignored all other important objectives of an organization. Third, they also ignored the importance of informal groups on individual behavior. Fourth, they did not consider the role of group and intergroup behavior in organizations. In order to remove the limitations of classical approach, a neoclassical approach, also known as the human relations approach, has been formulated. Elton Mayo is generally recognized as the father of the human relations school. This theory emphasizes that human factor is an important element in any organization. A human being is not a machine, and various socio-psychological factors affect the behavior of an individual. The basic features, as believed by neoclassical theorists, are: 1. The business organization is a social system. 2. Informal relations exert influence on the behavior of employees. Third, financial incentives are not the only means of motivating employees. Fourth, in addition to technical competence, social and leadership skills must also be developed in an organization. Fifth, morale and productivity go hand in hand in an organization. The contingency approach, also known as the situational approach, rejects the universality of management practices. It emphasizes that there is no one best style of management practices that are applicable in all the situations. It depends upon the given situation. Thus, managers should design organizations, define objectives, and formulate plans, policies, as well as strategies according to the prevailing environment and circumstances. In addition to this, managerial policies and practices must respond to the changes in the environmental forces. So, that is all for today. Hope you have understood the concept and nature of management. We'll see you again with another topic on management. Till then, take care and bye.